At the heart of this violent, bloody case is a love story. A very unusual love story. The Ruxton case is different.
Any investigation before the Ruxton case was ancient history. It changed the way that we investigate serious crime.
Beyond Recognition is a new limited series coming to the Small Town Dicks podcast feed on July 19th.
Don't miss it.
I wanted to tell you about our podcast, Drew Blood's Dark Tales, hosted by me, Drew Blood. We're a weekly storytelling podcast where you'll hear hand-picked horror from our favorite authors, accompanied by a full audio production and performed by yours truly. I invite you to search for Drew Blood's Dark Tales on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you do your listening. And subscribe for longer episodes each and every week.
Congratulations. You've reached the Amelia Project. A new life awaits. If you're not serious about this, hang up. If you continue, there's no way back. Leave your message after the beep.
Enter the offices of the Amelia Project and be ready for surprises, twists and turns. Follow the Amelia team as they help their clients fake their deaths and come back with new identities. Each episode is different. Each client coming to the death-faking agency has a unique story to tell. If death and disappearances, comedy and crime, mystery and magic sounds like your cup of cocoa, The Amelia Project is the podcast for you. Search for The Amelia Project wherever you find your podcasts. And remember, leave your message after the beep.
Hey, I'm Brooke. My friends and I perform spooky stories on our podcast 13. 13 is a movie for your ears, with immersive sound design and music from our composer. And we're not reading you the same old ghost stories from Reddit. With original stories from our in-house writers and submissions from up-and-coming authors, 13 will make you smile, break your heart, and have you wishing for a nightlight. Atmospheric, slow burn, always spooky, and sometimes sexy. Our friends are some of the best voice actors and writers in our little corner of the podcast industry. So if you want to find out why those figures in black keep meeting by the water just before dawn, why you should never sleep in a room with an empty chair, or why you hear faint music echoing from the abandoned mall, join us by following 13 wherever you're listening right now. That's 13, the word, not the number, all spelled out. Bridget Howard keeps asking for my teeth. Wherever you get your podcasts.
It strikes her in the gloom so fast she barely has time to scream. She falls into the edge of the lamplight and lies there, bleeding, motionless. The man's skin is scaly, flaking, and there are patches of soot on his cheeks. He's one of them. I turn and run, and I don't look back.
The Road of Shadows. Listen now at theroadofshadows.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, hello there, Chief.
Please call me Tessa.
Damn it. I was hoping to call you Chief.
You can if you want. Whatever makes you most comfortable.
I'm only kidding. I will, of course, call you Tessa.
How would you prefer me to call you?
Chris? Or Christoph? Everyone here calls me Christoph.
Great. Can I just ask you, Christoph, before we get going, are you right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Why?
It's just for my records. I'm asking everybody that at the moment. So, listen, before we start, I just need to let you know I'm recording this chat, and it's just for my records. I've got a ton of people to talk to, and my note-taking is just not going to cut the mustard. You should see my handwriting.
Cut the mustard. I like that. Well, I'm a big fan of recordings.
Oh, great. Okay, so the statement I'm about to say, it's exactly what I've said to everybody, Christoph. And it's going to sound so formal, but it's just so that everybody understands where we're at legally. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Well, this interview is in relation to the death of Dr. Andrew Fairfield. My aim is to establish accounts from everybody stationed at Bowers Wilson to gain an understanding of the circumstances surrounding his death and to establish the course of his dying.
Mm-hmm.
You are not suspected of committing any offence at this time, and as such, you're not under arrest, and this interview is not being conducted under police caution.
Well, that's a relief.
Great. So you understand all that, yeah? It's all clear?
Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks, Christoph. Okay, for the recording, I'm DCI Tessa McAllister, and the time is 02:23 a.m. GMT on the 26th of June 2023. There's no one else on this side of the call in London. Could you let me know if there's anyone alongside you there, Christoph?
No, it's just me.
Brilliant. Well, look, thanks for coming on this call at all. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Not a problem. We're all getting a little sick here, stuck in this bubble. It's good to talk to someone new, albeit not in great circumstances.
Yeah, right, I understand. Well, Johann's hopefully explained, but what it is that I'm trying to do with these conversations is that I'm trying to piece together the evening that Drew died. And, you know, you've all been extremely helpful given how difficult the circumstances must be for you all.
There are definitely some that have taken it very badly.
Mm-hmm. How are you holding up there?
Me? I'm okay. I hope that doesn't make me sound like a psycho killer.
Not at all. Look, there's absolutely no right or wrong way to feel in these situations, Christoph. You know, I've seen people run the whole gamut, believe you me. So look, however you're feeling, it's completely right for the situation you're in. Nobody can predict how they're going to feel.
Right.
Well, do you think you could talk me through what you were doing the evening Drew died? Would that be okay to start with that?
Of course. It was the midwinter solstice party. Mm-hmm. Not the greatest party, I have to admit. We ate dinner, and then, after some people had peeled off, Jack, Greg, Anders, myself, we stayed drinking there the rest of the night. That was it. Nothing much memorable happened until Maria came in asking about Drew.
Okay, thanks for that. So just to confirm, this is from my head, it was the solstice party, not a great party, according to yourself.
No, it was pretty shit.
You ate dinner, and then you spent the rest of the night drinking with Jack, Greg, and Anders. Is that all sounding correct?
That's all sounding correct. I'm sorry if it's not much use.
No, not at all. It's all really helpful. So when you say Maria came in asking about Drew, can you talk me through that?
She came in looking for him. Could see he wasn't there and then left. It's only memorable because she looked worried.
And do you know what time this was?
I couldn't be exact. Before midnight? Probably earlier.
Uh-huh. So what happened after that?
We carried on drinking and chatting. We had no reason to expect anything was wrong. Then, a little while later, like maybe 1-ish, there was a load of commotion down the corridor. I went to investigate, and that's when I heard that her body had been brought back. I went to tell the others.
Can I ask, who told you about the body?
Matteo. He was white as a sheet.
And did he say it was Drew?
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
Well, the drinking stopped for starters. The whole mood on the base changed, and it's never been right since. But obviously.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for that. I'm just going to go back to the start of the party, if I may.
Yeah, sure thing.
Can I ask, did anything memorable happen at dinner, before the drinking really kicked in?
How do you mean?
Well, it's just talking to some of the others about the evening. there appears to have been some arguments, maybe, during dinner?
Bickering, yeah. But it wasn't like a fight or anything.
Right. So nothing more serious, you don't think, no? Than bickering?
It was just a bit of bitching, you know. Some people whining as usual. I wasn't even paying attention, to be honest.
Okay. Could you just give me a bit more detail about that?
Not much to say about it.
Well, who would you say was bickering? In particular, anyone?
I can't be certain. It felt like a few people. So I don't feel comfortable naming names, but I can't be certain.
And was it about anything in particular?
Again, I think this would be hearsay.
That's fine, Christoph. I'm just trying to build a picture.
I think people were upset. They had been recorded without their knowledge.
Do you mean these supposed secret recordings that Dr. Fairfield had been making?
Yeah. As I say, I kept my head down.
Any reason why?
To be honest, I'm recording all the time for my socials. I was just waiting for it to come and blow up with me too. You know, people can be funny about being recorded.
And how do you feel about it?
I grew up in this CCTV, Big Brother is watching you world. Everything we say and do is being catalogued now. That's just life. I don't have issues.
Okay, Christoph, going back to the party, where was it that you were all sitting and drinking?
In the canteen.
Did anyone in your drinking group leave at any point during the evening?
You mean during the drinking session?
Yeah, any point.
Well, I went to the bathroom quite a few times.
Go on.
Well, I don't want to be crude, but once my bladder is on a drinking session, I have to go about every 30 minutes or so. My body's filtration system is super efficient, you see.
Right. Okay. What about the others?
I mean, yeah, sure. They must have gone a couple of times at least with what we drank. I don't remember specifically about Anders, but Greg was actually joking around when Jack went.
What, when Jack went to the bathroom?
Yes, it wasn't very long or anything. I only remember because Greg was ripping into him about Americans taking very long dumps. But Jack said he had to do the generator checks too. Then he said, Greg pisses maple syrup. Greg is Canadian, Jack's American. They're always minding each other up. It was all in good humor, though.
Right. Just banter, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Whilst you were drinking in the canteen, did you notice anyone else coming or going?
Maybe. I have no specific memory of that. People are always passing you by on base. I had no reason to take any notice of it.
Okay, look, thanks for going over that with me. That's really helpful. Just to change tack for a wee minute, can I ask you about these GPS trackers?
In the codes? What is there to know?
Well, I mean, for starters, did you know they were in the codes?
Yeah, I knew.
And did you think they were a good idea?
They're certainly not this amazing piece of new tech. What is it? It's a glorified Apple AirTag. Makes me laugh how far behind all these big companies are from actual technological advancements, you know. Most of us doing field work have been using proper GPS systems for ages. We take radios and sat phones with us for emergencies. That thing in the code is pretty pointless. It's a gimmick, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I'd say not in Drew's case.
Yeah, true.
It strikes her in the gloom so fast she barely has time to scream. She falls into the edge of the lamplight and lies there, bleeding, motionless. The man's skin is scaly, flaking, and there are patches of soot on his cheeks. He's one of them. I turn and run, and I don't look back.
The Road of Shadows. Listen now at theroadofshadows.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Okay, look, I'd like to talk about Bridget a wee bit. Can you tell me about your relationship with her?
Bridget? Well, it wasn't a relationship with a capital R, if you know what I mean. Friendship. We are friends, just friends. We were doing some TikToks together.
TikToks. Listen, you're going to have to forgive my lack of social media savvy here. I am a complete dinosaur when it comes to these things.
So is my mom.
I feel for her, tell you. What sort of TikToks is it that you do? Is it like we dances and stuff?
Yeah, dances. Sure, of course. We did a dance to songs from Frozen. Yeah. The musical.
Yeah,
do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but mostly we did things to do with Antarctica, dares, snowboarding, those kind of things. It was fun, but ultimately it was distracting us both from our work, so we stopped doing it. Why do you ask?
Oh, look, sorry if this all sounds a bit random. It's just, I'd normally be there with you, Christoph, on the scene, so to speak, and it's just quite hard for me from over here to understand the dynamics of the base, so anything you can tell me, it all helps, yeah?
Yep, okay.
Great. Okay, moving on to Drew now, if I can. If it's not too painful, tell me what your relationship was like with Drew. I mean, relationship with a small R this time.
Well, it was fine. We didn't spend much time together, just normal crew interactions. I know Maria better. I like her a lot, actually. I really feel bad for her. You know?
Must be really hard for her.
Yeah, it is. We're all just desperate to get out of this desert,
Desert. Antarctica, Antarctica, desert.
Well, yes, it actually is. Very low precipitation. Makes it very difficult for things to grow and live here. It's basically the Sahara, just without the sand.
Well, that's a new one to me.
Huh?
Okay, I'd like to ask you about the drink and drug culture there on the base, if that's okay.
Sure. Well, in that sense, it's not a desert. There's a lot of drink.
How about drugs?
Less drugs, definitely. It's not really my thing, and you didn't hear it from me, but Felipe had some cocaine at the start, but that was all gone after the first big party. And he woke up pissed about that. It's not like he could get more. No planes.
What about the misuse of prescription medication, Christoph? Is there any of that going on?
Well, I'm sure there are people who pop prescription meds. Yeah. Fake a backache, I don't know. I don't mess around with prescription stuff. Worse for you than alcohol.
Oh, very wise. Okay, look, lastly, I'd just like to speak with you about Mark Rennick, if I can. I know that situation there has been really tricky for a lot of people. Can I ask, how are you feeling about it?
I feel bad for the guy. Once he was locked up, there was this really dark atmosphere on the base, Winter over syndrome could happen to any of us, almost. We had marks on our backs. Yeah.
Is it something that frightens you, the winter over syndrome?
No, not particularly. I think it would be unlikely that two people would get winter over syndrome, but it's not impossible. The reality of being put on drugs, locked up, I just think it didn't make anybody feel good.
Yeah.
And to come back to your question, sure, we were empathizing with Mark, but we were also thinking about ourselves being in that situation. But I mean, that's human nature, isn't it? Then obviously Drew's death happening, the atmosphere here, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But look, rest assured we're working as hard as we can here to try and work out exactly what happened to Drew. Yeah.
Well, even then, though, nothing can be done until the first ship or plane can land.
Well, yeah, but for what it's worth, we are working on that too, but absolutely can't change the seasons, unfortunately. My reach doesn't go that far.
Yeah, I wish you could. But it's a fair point, yeah.
Okay, Christoph, look, we're asking everyone to hand their phones over to Luca because he's copying the data and sending it over to us. Would that be something you could do?
Would the other people agreeing to this?
It's just, any information might be helpful at this point, like I said. Without us actually being there, being able to walk the routes, see the base, how you all live, we really just do need all the information we can get.
You won't see anything of interest on my phone.
It might not be interesting, but it might help give us context. So
I just can't be without my phone. More than anybody here. It's my lifeline. How am I supposed to contact people outside, my followers on TikTok and,
Christoph, it will
my
literally
mom
only be for an hour or so, max. You'll get your phone
An
back.
hour? Really? It can take that long to upload one video.
I've been assured it doesn't take long and everybody gets their phone back as soon as it's done. You think you could do that?
Yeah, okay.
Great.
Sure.
I appreciate that. Listen, I'd also love your TikTok footage, even though, it's not my thing. Anything that isn't uploaded already would be really helpful. And Naveen, my DS, he's mentioned you've got some GoPro footage, is that right?
Yes, but I don't know if that's useful. Listen, I do want to help as much as I can, but there's hours and hours of raw footage. Not even my own mother would be able to sit through it, and she's actually someone who misses me.
Don't worry, that's what I've got a team for, the boring stuff. Look, thanks for the heads up.
You're most welcome.
Okay, well, I think that's it for now, Christoph. Thanks again. You've been really helpful.
Okay.
And look, feel free to reach out if you need to at all. Yeah? You and I'll organise anything if you want to speak to me again.
Sure thing. Thanks, Chief.
Christoph. Okay, I'm going to end the recording now. The time is now 02:39 a.m. GMT.
Get all the files now. Sign up at coldtapes.com and go ad-free.
It strikes her in the gloom so fast she barely has time to scream. She falls into the edge of the lamplight and lies there, bleeding, motionless. The man's skin is scaly, flaking, and there are patches of soot on his cheeks. He's one of them. I turn and run, and I don't look back.
The Road of Shadows. Listen now at theroadofshadows.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.